1600 A loyal team. After the Battle of Sekigahara, Nobushige Yukimura Sanada and his father Masayuki were exiled to Mount Koyama. Yukimura was sent with his wife and mistresses, but a few more made the pilgrimage voluntarily. It was the last 10 members of the Sarutobi clan. The Sanada's 10 braves. Their original leader, Jinpachi Nizu, died at Sekigahara. Their new leader was Kaminosuke Yuri, son of Kansuke Yamamoto and affectionately nicknamed Yamamoto. He was now the ninja grandmaster, having Karasu with all ninja, and he had defeated the original grandmaster. Luckily, the 10 braves didn't have to change their name, because their ranks were filled by Kotaro Hojo, adopted son of Kotaro Fuma and avenger of the later Hojo clan. Yamamoto led the braves to Mount Koyama, where Yukimura met them. "You are dismissed. I failed the Takeda and I failed you too. I have no craft except for being a warrior. Now war is a thing of the past, and my side lost twice. I failed to save the Takeda, and now Mitsunari Ishida is dead, and with him, died the hope of Toyotomi rule. Shingen, Katsuyori, Hideyoshi, Hideyori. I failed 4 lords. Now instead of dying a warrior's death, I am exiled to a mountain to die a peasant's death. Master Yamagata sacrificed his life so I would be the strongest warrior in the land, now that Yoshihiro and Keiji have retired, but the wars are over. I might as well take up a career as a fisherman." Yamamoto placed his hand on Yukimura's shoulder. "The Sarutobi serve the Takeda clan, and that's you. You've always been the ghost of the Takeda. So as a samurai we serve you as warriors. As a fisherman we will tie your hooks and clean your catch. We serve the Takeda. And you are the Takeda." Yukimura was shaken by Yamamoto's resolve and duty. Also, war isn't a thing of the past. Ieyasu's Eastern Army defeated Mitsunari Ishida and the Western Army. Note those terms: the Tokugawa never beat the Toyotomi. There is a problem. Ieyasu will become shogun now, but many will still call Hideyori Taiko. Ieyasu is stronger and he certainly has more power. He also has at least 10 years before Hideyori is a man. But once he is, if Ieyasu hasn't assassinated him yet, Yukimura's fiery soul that had cooled to embers after he was exiled, suddenly reignited and life returned to his spirit. He interrupted another civil war. Toyotomi versus Tokugawa. If I kill Ieyasu there, I'll avenge the Takeda and restore the Toyotomi to their rightful seat of leadership. We have to train. I'm counting on you. Get me strong enough to take Ieyasu's head and protect me while I reach it." The 10 braves bowed before Yukimura. Yukimura Sanada would train vigorously with the 10 braves for the next 15 years. Yamamoto was nearly Yukimura's equal. His intelligence and analytical mind rivaled his father. Plus, with access to every ninja power, he would solve almost any problem and navigate any obstacles. He quickly assessed the strengths and weaknesses of all the other braves and delegated ninja powers to them. Not only to optimize their unit synergy, but it also helped them to synergize and help Yukimura exercise his own diverse skill set. Chiome Mochizuka received Shinkajin, a vacuum-style ninja. With it she was able to create a vacuum which compressed air around her blades. The compressed air could be used in a variety of ways. She could amplify her movement's power and speed or attract opponents and objects to her and repulse them with extreme speed and force. She taught Yukimura that conventional attacks were powerless against ranged attackers. Sasuke Sarutobi was given his namesake Sarutobi. With the wind styles of Sarutobi, Sasuke was much faster even than Chiome. His high speed and acrobatics made him difficult to predict, deflect, protect against, dive and punish. Yukimura found only 2 methods to deal with an adversary of that velocity: to be faster, which took a massive amount of ki and planning, or. One day after training concluded, Sasuke returned to his quarters and removed his training gear and lounged in his casual wear. When Yukimura barged in and dumped a bucket of cold water on the unwary ninja. He then placed the empty bucket on his head and put a headlock on him. Patience. Yukimura had learned a valuable tactic. Saizo Kirigakure was given Bakaniko. Now armed with the reflexes of a cat, Saizo could now skillfully use much longer clawed gauntlets and boots. Each arm had 4 long claws and each boot had 2. Yukimura suffered many small lacerations fighting Saizo. Saizo fought least often, taking copious naps, but when he did fight, he dealt the most damage to Yukimura, and that strengthened Yukimura to be able to take and recover from many wounds. Rokuro Uno was given Otoroshi. Otoroshi was able to let Rokuro camouflage perfectly. Able to hide anywhere, Yukimura was forced to be alert and perceptive at all times. Yukimura had to be aware of more than just his eyesight. His other senses and his keen perception and quick reaction time were the only weapons he had against Rokuro's invisibility. Saikai Miyoshi was given Hinotama. With Hinotama he could imbue his weapon with fire. But more importantly, he was able to absorb all of Yukimura's fire abilities. This allowed Yukimura to develop a diverse plethora of non-elemental attacks, which led him to a new set of challenges. Saikai was much bigger and stronger too. Yukimura fought Saikai more than anyone else, and from all of his encounters with him he added many skills and techniques that would serve him well. Isa Miyoshi, being the smaller, faster and calmer brother of the Miyoshi, he was gifted Yuki Ana. Yuki Ana allowed Isa to freeze anything his blades touched. Just being around in his released state could freeze a person in seconds. Yukimura had a special defense against that. His flame aura taught by Masekage not only protected him from his own fire, but Isa's ice as well. But he had to focus, and he learned the hard way. During their first training, Yukimura avoided Isa's attacks and stayed cloaked in his fire aura. While he clashed blades looking for an opportunity to win, Isa focused on the weakest part of Yukimura's protective aura, his sides. Eventually the cold focused on one weak point, bypassed the aura and froze Yukimura's ribs. Every time Yukimura suffered from a freezing injury, it took weeks for the tissues and nerves to heal. But Yukimura certainly improved his aura and incorporated a lot more defensive options in his fighting style. He was most hesitant to fight Isa, but he certainly benefited each time. Kosuke Inayama was given Yukio, a ninja that incorporated ink. Kosuke's spear became that of a paintbrush, and each color ink had a different effect on whatever was painted by it. With black ink he could control whatever he painted, with red ink he could inflict pain, with blue ink he could move, and with white ink he could stop. This expansive power set were all things Yukimura wanted to avoid, so most of his training with Kosuke was avoiding ink. Dodging was the only way to win against Kosuke, and Yukimura picked up many new ways to avoid hazards. Juzo Keikai was the oldest after the passing of Jinpachi. Age had caught up with him. But the gift of Raijin was just what the aging gunner needed to stay in the fight. Raijin was the first ninja to be sealed, and it was probably for the best. Had Raijin anticipated Sonoto Iga's attempt to seal him, things would have been different. Raijin was as powerful as an Onika. With it, Juzo's precision, aim and accuracy were inhuman, as well as his firing range was increased by 100 times. Yukimura had to get creative to compete with Juzo. Juzo could now shoot electricity bullets without having to reload and at much greater distances. Yukimura had to avoid letting Juzo get a shot off, and Yukimura had to shoot Juzo too. He adopted a serpentine pattern when running towards a gunner. He also had to learn to use cover and long-range projectiles. Juzo was the oldest, but he was certainly the most experienced, and though he rarely had the energy to train Yukimura, when he did it certainly yielded phenomenal results. Finally was Kotaro Hojo, adopted son of Kotaro Fuma, the avenger of the Hojo. The last Fuma and Hojo was also the newest and youngest of the Braves. He was unproven in battle, but the team all believed in his potential. Plus his presence reminded everyone of their fallen comrade. It may have just been because of his place in the roster, but the team felt like Jinpachi Nizu had never left. An elating feeling that Jinpachi was watching them vicariously through the newest member. He was given Senju of the 1,000 arms. With it he could make wooden duplicates of himself, grow or extend his arms and heal wounds, not unlike Sudowoodo. Fighting him with his wood doubles and multiple arms with multiple swords made Kotaro, akin to fighting a dozen or more opponents, a skill that would be a massive boon to Yukimura in due time. The added benefits of a combat medic was most appreciated and useful as well. Yukimura trained diligently with his team in preparation for the hypothetical yet absolute battle between the Toyotomi and Tokugawa to decide the fate of the land. Though on occasions distractions did occur. Now with no escape from his wife, he was free to train with his team during the day. Though at night Lady Chikuranin had more special training for him. His husbandly obligations. In time Yukimura would become a parent several times over, but his team helped with that as well. Also Yukimura had become a legendary figure and many aspiring warriors came to duel or train with him. Such as Musashi Miyamoto and even Hidetada Tokugawa. His team helped with those duties as well. Yukimura had a truly reliable team that helped him achieve his very ambitious goal. But as long as he chased his dream, fought and sacrificed for what he believed in, his team was supporting him every step of the way.